Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and in this video we're going to be making this beautiful card, a thank you card using the Very Versailles stamp set from Stampin' Up. Love this style set and love it in these colors. So I've used the Garden Lane Designer Series paper to coordinate with the Mossy Meadow, and I think it's just really pretty. So let's get started. We need a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock for our base. It's a portrait size card, standard card, and this one's cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. But you can get the same look with the same dimensions for the other pieces if you want to do the book style open, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and folded at 4 1/4. Okay, so there's that. I have this piece of the Garden Lane Designer Series paper. It's cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to layer on top. I have some scrap pieces of Mossy Meadow and mint macaron that I'm going to be stamping and punching. A piece about 4 1/4 inches of the burlap ribbon, and this leaf trinket that I colored in a previous video with the Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends. Okay, let's get started. We're going to do some stamping on the designer paper first, and I'm using this beautiful leaf cascade image from the set, and I'm going to open up my Mossy Meadow ink pad, and let's ink this up and check it out. All right, so what I want to do is start in this corner up here and then cascade it down toward the center of this Designer Series paper. Okay, it's so pretty. All right, so now I'm going to do some stamping on this scrap piece of mint macaron. And we'll set this aside and we'll use it for later. So first I want to stamp the thank you sentiment. This will also be in Mossy Meadow. Okay, and then I'm going to punch that with the 1-inch circle punch. And we'll leave that right there. Then I'm going to stamp this beautiful flourish. Okay, ink this up. And this time I don't want it so bold. I want it a little more subtle. And so I'm going to stamp off on scrap paper first and then stamp it here on my Mossy Meadow cardstock. And I think I want it a little lighter, so I'm going to stamp again. There, that is more the look I want. So you see you can get varying shades of the ink by just re-stamping. And these stamps that have that are very ornate really suck up the ink and they hold it well in the little grooves, so you can stamp multiple times and get multiple intensities of your ink, and it looks completely different, okay, with each stamp. All right, now I have the story label punch, and I'm going to slide that in, and it's going to cut out most of that ornate label. There we go. And let's see, now I'm going to close my Mossy Meadow ink and get my soft suede ink pad and a sponge dauber, and we're going to distress the edges a little bit by using soft suede ink. So I'm just going to dab the sponge dauber there and sponge around the edges. I'm going to get some of that ink off so it's not so dark. You can also use crumb cake on this if you wanted a little lighter shade, but I think I like the soft suede better. It's a personal preference, but it finishes out your pieces, especially if you're making this style of a vintage look card. And I used to make these types of cards all the time. I was so excited when I saw this stamp set in the catalog because, oh, I love it. Okay, all right, so there we have those two pieces, and now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to use one right here on the back of the thank you. And we're going to mount that right in the center there. Okay, make that stand out a bit from that ornate stamp piece in the back. And then I have my leaf trinket that already has some glue dots on the back of it. I put use 3. And since this is popped up a bit with dimensionals, I can slide that right beneath and it can extend a little bit beyond. And I'm just going to press that down. Isn't that pretty? All right, so let's put our card together now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mount this designer paper that we stamped on top of the Mossy Meadow card base. All right, now I'm going to take this piece of burlap ribbon and I'm going to angle this just a bit just to give it some interest on the edge. And so let me get my ribbon scissors and just trim a bit of that off. And that's going to go here like that. And I am going to try some snail adhesive. Sometimes I'll put a piece of the tear and tape behind this, but I'm going to try this for the sake of the video to go a little faster. And I'm coming up about a 1/2 inch from the bottom of the designer paper. Okay, there we go. And now this is going to go over top just like that. And for that, since I am going over the burlap ribbon, I'm going to use a piece of tear and tape. I'd rather have that stuck good. Now you could use the liquid glue, but that would take a little longer to dry, and I want to be able to move my card around pretty quick after the video. So, okay, let me show you a trick with this. Take your bone folder, give it a little bit. And this is what I mean about time for the, and it never works like you want it to when you're recording, so just bear with me a second. There you go. And now we're going to go right over top, just like that. And there you can finish out the inside however you'd like. And then it'll be ready to send. Okay, that's the Very Versailles stamp set from Stampin' Up. If you have any questions, let me know. Please visit my website at inkandinspirations.com, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.